Hello. So we'll be discussing about an African culture, and also we'll be discussing the importance of gender awareness in the African society. So welcome. Um, we live in a modern world. The 21st century is, we can actually say we are in a modern world, and with modernity comes changes. It's something that is dynamic, and we are bound to accept. So we have that gender awareness has become a pivotal aspect of the contemporary African culture, so deeply influencing various spheres such as social structures, economic activities, and political landscapes. This detailed exploration delves into the historical evolution of gender roles within the African society, tracing the shift of traditional roles predominantly assigned to men and women towards a modern emphasis on gender equality. This focus on gender equality is widely acknowledged as a fundamental prerequisite for social development, enabling both men and women to actively and equally contribute to growth and prosperity of their communities. Um, when we talk about the historical context and evolution of gender roles, we can say traditionally African societies operated within a patriarchal framework where distinct roles were assigned to women and distinct roles were assigned to men. But these days things have changed, where you find men and women will work in the same workspace, doing the same jobs, and this was brought about by education. Just getting into a class, all of you become learned, you reach at the same bar, irrespective of the level of or irrespective of the gender that you are from. So men typically assumed the roles of leaders, warriors, and providers, while women were primarily responsible for domestic duties, child rearing, and maintaining household stability. Um, these roles, although functional within their historical context, often led to significant gender disparities in terms of opportunities and societal participation. However, as African societies have evolved, there has been a growing recognition of the need to reevaluate these traditional roles. This reevaluation is driven by the increasing and understanding of the gender equality is not only a matter of justice but also a critical factor for sustainable development. Modern African societies are now witnessing a transformative shift where women are emerging as key players in various fields, challenging the conventional norms of reshaping socio-cultural landscape. Um, Suppose you go to an office, your boss can be a lady, or your boss can be a man. But these days, you find that in any space you can expect anyone. And if in the Kenyan parliamentary system they say it's supposed to have the two-third gender rule, that means even ladies should also be included in the parliamentary system. That means as much as there are men in the parliament, there should also be ladies for balance, so that every needs of a specific person are addressed, irrespective of where they're from and irrespective of their gender. So they're choosing the right leader as long as it's a leader who has the best interests, has the best ideas for you, has the best thoughts to give you prosperity in your region. Um, you are advised to choose the person, and the gender is not a factor to consider. Um, Modern African societies are now witnessing a transformative shift. We say they are witnessing a transformative shift where women are emerging as key field players, just like I've told you. So there is an importance of gender equality, where we can say gender equality is seen as a cornerstone for the advancement of any society. That's a fact. It also ensures that parity between women and men have equal access to opportunities, resources, and rights. This parity is essential for harnessing the full potential of all individuals, which in return drives economic growth, enhances social cohesion, and fosters political stability. In the African context, gender equality enables women to step into roles traditionally reserved for men, such as leadership positions in politics, business, and academia. And like I said, education is what brought the equality, something that wasn't there before. Everyone right now is learned. And with that as a fact, that means we are all equal and chasing over the same opportunities. Also, um, this inclusion not only enriches the decision making processes with diverse perspectives, but also inspires future generations to pursue their aspirations without limitation imposed by gender biases. So we've said there's no longer gender bias because in every space you find them being accepted. Um, there, of course, there will be challenges to gender equality. Um, First of all, in the current times, we still find there's some people who haven't fully accepted this change. So you find, as a man, you are created, you feel you want to dominate, and with the modern society, it's no longer the same. You have to collaborate ideas with your partner, and it's not all about domination. You sit, have a talk, decide and discuss matters that are affecting you both, come to a conclusion, and bring out a solution to your problems. But domination and dictatorship and the chauvinistic way of doing things that was in the past is now no longer acceptable. But you still find some people haven't fully accepted that. They will. That's why you find many broken marriages because people are not correlating to each other. The man wants to dominate, the woman doesn't want to be dominated, and this brings wrangles in the relationship. So, despite the progresses made, achieving gender equality in Africa, especially Africa, is fraught with challenge. Remember, um, Africa has come to accept these changes in recent times. We can actually say from 2000, that is when Africans have started opening their minds to the gender equality and accepting ladies and women in men dominated spaces and bringing just equality for all. Um, but in the States, in the Western world, this was something that started a long time ago, and that's why you find it's not a major issue in the States. So, um, despite these progresses, achieving gender equality in Africa is fraught with challenges, just as we have said, and cultural resistance remains a significant barrier, as deeply ingrained in patriarchal values to continue to influence attitudes and behavior. Remember, we all come from a specific region, and each region has its own specific culture, and culture is the main key factor uh, that affects the gender equality thing. You find specific cultures, a woman has to be submissive, and they do not have room for change. They keep saying it's our culture for a woman to respect, whether learned, whether not, it doesn't matter. The woman has to be respectful and submissive to the man. Also, um, uh, poverty is another critical obstacle. Poverty, economic hardship often leads to gender disparities, as women and girls are more likely to be deprived of education and employment opportunities. In many rural areas, girls are still subjected to early marriages, domestic labor, which hinder their professional and personal growth. In the past, a lady was getting married at 14, and as 14, you are married off to the richest man in this community. But in the modern times, they are no longer married off. Each person has his or her own choice and his or her own. You choose your partner, so you'll find even a person who's in 14 is still studying. You'll find a lady will study until maybe the age of 24, and from 24, yeah, now she's allowed to look for her own partner, make her own right and just decision, check if the person qualifies and clicks all her checkbox, and makes her own informed decision. So, moreover, lack of education and awareness about gender equality impedes progress. Education system in some regions fail to address gender issues comprehensively, leaving young people without the knowledge and tools to challenge discriminatory practices. Raising gender awareness through education is crucial for cultivating a society that values and practices equality. So, next will be raising gender awareness for social transformation. Um, and in this, we can say that raising gender awareness is essential for driving a social transformation in African societies. Awareness campaigns and educational programs play a vital role in changing mindset and promoting mutual respect and cooperation among all members of society by highlighting the benefits of the gender equality and showcasing successful female role models. These initiatives inspire both men and women to support and advocate for equal rights. Community based organizations and non governmental organizations, these are the NGOs, are at the forefront of this. And we're speaking about gender based violence. Um, Time and time again, you've heard the news, you've heard that a couple was having wrangles, the wife has been um, assaulted, same way to the man. Because these days things have changed. It's not only the ladies who are experiencing such, but also even the men. There are men who are being assaulted, and as a man, you feel you can't show weakness, so it's not something that is reported. So you find very few cases of such being reported, but for female it's so rampant because it's something that has been affecting the modern society time and time again. And this is what the NGOs, the non-governmental organizations are trying to fight. um, and time again you've seen in the news they're trying to stop femicide, and now femicide is now what is brought by the gender based imbalance in the society. So advocates for women rights and provide platforms for women to voice their concerns and aspirations. These organizations actually help to create an environment where gender equality is not just an ideal but a lived reality. So, the role of women in African culture. So, women have always been integral to the African culture. They served as the custodians of traditions and leaders in various sectors. Their contribution, although often overlooked, have been instrumental in shaping the cultural and social fabric of African communities. In many African societies, women are the primary educators of their children, passing down cultural and values and traditions. Um, I remember when we were in primary school, we were studying about the culture, where you were seeing that the old women, the aunts, and the grandmother of a specific family were the ones who were to teach the children and the grandchildren of the whole extended family their cultural ways and practices, things that they were to address in the past, things that they were to focus in the past, such the roles of women, where you find women used to take girls in a specific way and tell them how to behave as a girl in the society, how to behave as a good son in the society, how to practice acceptable and behaviors in the society, such. So, and that's why we say women were primary educators for children, passing down cultural values and traditions. They also played a crucial role in agriculture, which is a main backbone of the African economy. As farmers and entrepreneurs, women contribute significantly to food security and economic stability. Definitely, with agriculture, food stability and food security is something that is considered. In the political arena, women are increasingly making their mark, as we can see in the modern government, the current government. We can see women have stood their grounds and made their mark. and they are the key champions of gender-based equality. From grassroots of activism to high-level political positions, African women are demonstrating their leadership capabilities and commitment to societal advancement. I can quote one specific leader that I can say championed in this sector, and it is the late Wangari Maathai, who championed against forestry, went against all odds, experienced a lot of torture to try, and she went against the men who were in those high positions to try and fight for the trees. And the trees we actually enjoy today, we can actually say she was a great champion. And even in her passing, she still left a legacy. We can say she was truly a figure that we should reckon with. And such, and her gender didn't determine her love for trees. She saw the future. She went against the reigning political head at the time, um, which brought wrangles. She was tortured, she was imprisoned, but this did not stop her. If you can remember, she was given a Nobel Peace Prize for such. She did a commendable job, and that is something to appreciate. Also, we can continue and say the involvement in peace building processes and conflict resolution has also been noteworthy. You can find in the present times they are mediators. They become peace building. You find a lot of peace building by the women, and they're championed by these ladies who are key figures in the society. Also, uh, so, in conclusion, we can say the journey towards gender equality in Africa is an ongoing process and requires continued effort and dedication. So, despite the challenges, the progress made thus far is a testament to the resilience and determination of African women and their allies. So, by continuing to promote gender awareness and equality, African societies can lay the groundwork for a more just and a prosperous future. So, the importance of gender equality cannot be overstated. It's a fundamental requirement in the holistic development and society, ensuring that both men and women contribute to the fullest potential. As Africa continues to embrace the modernity and pursuit of gender equality, will remain a crucial element in achieving sustainable development and social harmony. So let's continue being champions of gender equality. Let's continue being great champions. Let it be a key factor to consider. So let us always have an open mind. Go to those spaces, dominate as whichever gender, just dominate, and let us all be equal in a specific field. Thank you very much.